Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is a what I eat in a day gym edition. So I'm going to show you how I fuel my body before the gym and after the gym and all the things in between. So I'm starting off with a coffee. I have to take my daughter to school. I have learned the hard lesson. Do not leave the house without this. You have no control over how long that school line takes, and you might want it. So coffee with 2 tablespoons of creamer. So this is 1 point. I don't know if I'll have another one or not because I'm going to take a pre-workout. So we'll see how the day goes. We plan on leaving for the gym in about an hour, so this is really when I want to eat my carbs, aka oatmeal today. So let me show you what I'm having. I have a packet of this oatmeal. It is 4 points, and it has 10 grams. Ah! Oh, Lord. Oh, my legs are sore. It has 10 grams of protein, a good amount of carbs and fiber. To this protein, I added 2/3 of almond milk and just some cinnamon because I like it. And I cooked it, and then I added about 1/2 cup of chopped up strawberries. So I'm gonna eat this. Like I said, I wanna eat about an hour before going to the gym. I will have a pre-workout here right before I leave. So this is it for now. Breakfast, 4 points. Actually, if you count my coffee, this is 5 points total for breakfast. My goals on gym days are to have carbs so that I can use that for energy at the gym. But also being hungry at the gym really sucks. So having enough volume of food that I don't feel hungry, but not so much that I feel like I'm gonna be sick. So that's why I added the strawberries. Number one, it's always good to have a fruit or vegetable with everything you eat, but they also help me get my carbs and the volume of my meal up so that my stomach is fuller and happier. With it, I always have water. I do not drink less than 8 cups of water a day. In fact, often I drink more than that. I just stop counting at 8 cups. Best way to do that is to fill up a icy cold water bottle and just keep it with you all day long. When you're sitting, have it with you. When you're on the road, have it with you. Have it with you at all times. You'll just keep drinking it, and it helps get your water in. We're about to head off to the gym, which means it is time for my pre-workout. You don't need supplements. You don't need a pre-workout. You can drink a cup of coffee and go on your merry little way. I like having it. I like supplements. I am using 1/2 scoop of Alani Nu. That's about the caffeine of 1 cup of coffee. My husband does a whole scoop. It makes me too tingly, like my fingers start burning a little bit. I don't like that feeling, so I only have 1/2 scoop. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm just a woman doing her best. Okay, so these are all just things I'm doing. Nothing that I'm telling you need to do. So be smart, make your own decisions, and hopefully this is just some good inspo for you. I'm going to bottoms up on this and head to the gym. Before going to the gym, I like to do my skincare routine and then top it off with some tinted sunscreen and then add a little mascara. And I feel put together, but not gonna weigh my skin down with makeup that I'm just gonna have to wash right back off because I'm super sweaty. So, all right, I'll see you on the flip side. We made it back from our workout. We did back and biceps, and I did just a little bit of my obliques, and I'm feeling good. I have been loving it. It gives me so much energy to go, but I get sore very easily. So I am going to take some BCAAs. I got this from GNC. I talked to the guy, asked what he recommended. He recommended this brand and this flavor. It is so good. It is so good. If you like fuzzy navel or peach flavored or tropical flavored drinks, try this Fun on the Beach. This is the PMD brand. I love it. And whenever we run out of our Alani Nu pre-workout, we might switch to this brand as well. It's very tropical, and it feels like I earned it by working out because it's almost like a snow cone. This is supposed to help with soreness. The fact that I can walk today means it probably works because I trained my legs real hard yesterday and I get so sore. So I'm very thankful for BCAAs. Again, is this something you need if you're working out? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it's fun and I like it, so I'm gonna do it. There's no points to this. It's 10 calories for a scoop. So we're going to have this and then we're gonna go out to lunch. Wonder where we're going. We went to Chipotle and I got this delicious chicken salad. I got the chicken with black beans, corn salsa, and medium salsa. I would have gotten fajita vegetables, but they were out. And then I did about a third order of the chips. I eat my salad really quickly, and then I use the chips for dippage. Yum. This was 12 points plus 2 points back. Hey, y'all. I took a nap. It's a bad idea. I'm not a good nap taker. I have a really hard time waking back up. So I'm going to have some iced coffee. Make one for my husband as well. Let's start off with iced coffee, obviously. Just a couple tablespoons of my creamer. And then a little bit of cashew milk. Not enough to count for any points, so I gotta shake this. Let's see if I'm sore yet. Oh, we're good. Now I want to go back to bed. When we got back from picking up our daughter from school, I made some protein smoothies. We are back from picking up my daughter from school, and now I am actually awake, and I'm going to have this protein smoothie. Pretty good. I can't lift this. It's this giant thing of protein, the double rich chocolate. I tried to have it by itself with water. That's gonna be a no for me. Not a fan. 2 points for 1 scoop, and I get 24 grams of protein with that scoop. So I added, well, I started it with water because I thought I was just gonna be able to drink it plain, like a boss, and no. So then I added half a banana, a third cup of blueberries, and a cup of spinach. And some ice. It's much better like that. Not really that cold though, which is weird because I added a lot of ice. If you struggle with hunger, I don't recommend drinking as many of your calories like I'm doing. I normally have the opposite problem where I don't quite get enough calories a day. So for me, drinking my calories is helpful because I can get more volume and protein and things into my day. But like I said, if you struggle with being hungry, eat something instead of drinking something. That'll be helpful. All right, we'll probably start dinner in about 2 hours, but it'll feel like, I don't know, 5 seconds for you, you lucky dogs. It's time to prep dinner. We are having barbecue chicken, squash patties, and air-fried okra. Yes, you can air fry okra if you did not know. And it's really good. So we're gonna, what?
It's legit.
Oh, it's legit. You heard it here first. So we're gonna go ahead and start making the sauce for the squash patties and the squash patties while my husband is over here seasoning up the chicken. He's just using this Texas Heat barbecue rub, any barbecue rub you have, and then we'll top it with a barbecue sauce when it's almost done cooking. So, sauce time. This sauce comes together really quickly. I have a third of a cup of light mayo. And I do recommend trying it with the sauce, y'all. I think the sauce makes the squash patty. You don't need much per bite, but it adds it. You need it. So just try it once with the sauce and then see how you feel. You need a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I always just eyeball it because I'm a rebel like that. A teaspoon of Creole seasoning. If you're super sensitive to salt, you can get the no salted kind. The original recipe calls for 2 teaspoons, but that's a little too spicy for me, so I don't do that. Whew. And then I need a garlic minced, which if you've been here anytime at all, you know I like to press my garlic because I'm lazy. garlic press. It's like $6. Get yourself one if you use a lot of garlic. You just pop it in there and press it out. It comes out of these holes in like these tiny, perfect little mashed pieces. That's it on the sauce, guys. We're gonna stir it, set it to the side. I'll put it in the fridge while we're cooking up the rest of this stuff. And this only tastes better. I like these squash patties. The recipe says they're best same day, and I would agree on that. However, with the invention of the air fryer, air frying them for a few minutes the next day, this sauce only gets better. So make extras and dip other stuff in it if you're like me and love it. All right, I'm gonna pop that in the fridge. Now we need 3 cups of grated squash. My grocery store only had these giant ones, so that's what we're working with. If you have a food processor, you can feel free to use that. I have one, but it's in the garage and I don't feel like going and getting it. So I'm just gonna use this, you know, handy little devil. If you've ever cooked squash, you know that as it cooks, it releases a lot of water. There's a lot of water content in squash. So to help with that process, we're going to add a teaspoon of salt to it, mix it around and let it sit for 10 minutes. And then we're gonna strain it out over the sink. Do not skip this step. You will have soggy, gross squash patties. This is an important part. The next part on her recipe, which is like cooking the green onion and garlic, I never do that. So skip that part, don't skip this part, okay? I'm gonna add a little more salt because I didn't have quite enough in my thing here to do the whole teaspoon. If you're wondering, I bought this salt container that just opens and closes from Walmart. I think it was about $5. And I just buy a giant thing of kosher salt. Kosher salt is my favorite kind of salt to use while cooking. And this packaging is terrible for this, but I just, when it runs out, I pour more kosher salt in. And this thing, oh gosh, yeah, I should not have filmed that. That got everywhere. That thing is like $2 for all that salt, and it lasts forever. I might buy it like twice a year. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more since I didn't have quite enough. All right, so be patient, wait for 10 minutes. You could have done this before making your sauce if you want. I just like my garlic to get, you know, all through that mayo and like really sit, so I don't. But while this is sitting, I can go ahead and do my egg mixture. I do adjust the recipe on my Fitness Pal. When I was just checking calories, I did not because I didn't really care. With points, I do less cheese and less egg and less panko than the recipe. So I will have down below modifications that I use for that recipe if you use the website. But I also have it linked, the Weight Watcher link below as well. While our squash is doing its thing, I'm gonna do my thing, okay? So I'm gonna crack 2 eggs and put it into this bowl. Now it normally says to cook the garlic with the green onion. I don't do that, but I do want garlic in all of the pieces, like throughout the whole squash thing. So what I do instead is actually put it in the egg, scramble the egg, because the egg gets run all the way through. And I don't have to worry about the garlic kind of clumping up weirdly if I just added it by itself. Use my little press here. Now that I have my garlic and my eggs, that's when I'm gonna beat them. And I'll let this set aside. Again, that garlic's gonna kind of infuse with the egg and then go all the way through our squash patty. You can add it straight to the squash patty. I've definitely done that in the past. And then in this bowl, I'm gonna go ahead and add my cheeses and panko. You don't have to do this. You can wait till your squash is done and do it all in one bowl. I have a 1/3 cup of panko. I'm gonna do a 1/3 cup of reduced fat cheese. It calls for cheddar. I don't have cheddar, I have this. So this is what I'm using. 3 tablespoons of Parmesan. It would be easier if your Parmesan were grated. Mine's not. And that's okay. And then I need to cut up some green onion because I need 1/4 cup of green onion. And because I don't cook these, I'm just gonna cut them really thin. Once this is cut in my bowl, I'm going to put both of these bowls aside and wait for my squash to be drained of their water before adding them. I don't mind raw green onion. If you really don't like raw green onion, maybe do the part where you do cook it. We have our fresh okra in our air fryer. Normally these take 10 to 12 minutes. These are really big this time. So I'm gonna check them at 10 minutes and then they might go longer. I cook them on 380 for 10 minutes. I don't know if I said that. I'm gonna spray them first with avocado oil. Use any kind of spray oil you have. And I'm just gonna shake it with a generous amount, guys, generous amount of this roasted garlic and herb from Weber. This is my favorite seasoning for okra. I'm gonna just get my hands dirty, make sure it really coats. I'm gonna coat the other side with oil and do that again. Okra is one of those things where I think like the heavier the seasoning, the better, in my opinion. All right, so we'll check this in 10 minutes. I have removed all my squash into this tea towel, and I'm just gonna use the twisting motion as a way to help force out that water. As I get water out, I'm gonna twist it again. You see how much water is coming out of that? That's why you don't wanna skip this, man. Your panko would not be satisfyingly textured. It would just be mushy and gross. All right. And I like the towel method because it does most of the work for me, just keeping that tension on there where my hands aren't having to squeeze as much, which is great considering I've been lifting heavier weights and my grip isn't used to it. One more squeeze. Okay, into the same bowl. How sad it is now. I'm gonna fluff it up. That way when I add my other ingredients, I know all these pieces are separated. Got our egg mixture here, which I'm just gonna go ahead and pour in. But then this is my panko, cheese, and green onion. I'm just gonna give this a quick stir. Just because it's easier to stir it in here than it is in here with all the gloopy egg. All right, in it goes, and then we're gonna add some salt and pepper as well. Really making sure to get that egg mixed through because number one, that's your binder. That's what's gonna keep it into that cake form. But also remember that has your garlic in it and you don't want just giant amounts of garlic in part of your stuff. Or maybe you do. And I would not judge you for that. All right. So this is ready to be just kind of thrown onto the griddle and then pressed out with a spatula. The recipe calls to drop it in tablespoons. I don't want tiny, tiny ones, so I do 1/8 of a cup, which is 2 tablespoons. It gives me a little bit better patty size. I'm about to sneeze from that pepper. I'm gonna take some barbecue sauce out with a spatula to put on the chicken. This is the barbecue sauce I like. This is 0 points for 2 tablespoons and it tastes really, really good. So highly recommend. I ended up adding 1 minute to these and I'm pretty happy with them. So I'm gonna let them finish cooking for that 2 minutes and they'll be done. So let's go get our chicken basted. it is time for the hardest part of this meal, which is waiting at least 5 minutes before tearing into this delicious chicken. If you are cutting your chicken straight off the grill or oven or however you're cooking it, when it's super piping hot, all those delicious juices that are in your chicken breast run out onto your plate and you're left with a dry, sad chicken. So let it just like chill out for 5 to 10 minutes. Those juices will redistribute throughout the chicken, and when you cut it open, you'll have a delicious, moist chicken breast. While we are waiting on that chicken to chill out and become moist and delicious, let's have a little chit chat. I am now going to the gym. My goal is 4 times a week. I was working out from the house 3 times a week for 30 minutes at a time, and then using walking as my main source of movement. So I was making sure I was hitting that 10,000 step goal. Now my plans are shifting because I have joined a gym, and now I'm going to be working out for about an hour at a time, weightlifting 4 days a week. That's my main source of working out. And so now the walking is just playing a supportive role. So I'm not going to be as obsessed of getting 10,000 steps. I want to make sure on my off days that I'm not just sitting around the house being super lazy, because it kind of defeats the purpose of, being active. I want to be active throughout the week. Walking helps with my mood. It helps with my sore muscles. There's lots of benefits to walking. So I want to make sure to incorporate it. It's just not my main source. So if I'm getting 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day, I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to be 10,000 steps. If I look down at my watch and I'm at 9,800 steps for the day, I'm not going to walk around my house for 200 more steps. I'm just not going to. Not now that it's not my main source. So that's where I am goal-wise for my workouts. As far as Weight Watchers and lifting weight, I think that the two can actually go together beautifully. I don't think when you think of Weight Watchers, you necessarily think of like bodybuilder kind of aesthetics. A lot of people, I think, have the impression that Weight Watchers is a lot of prepackaged food that you just scan for points and you eat way too little because you're eating junk. I think that is probably what most people think of Weight Watchers. And it can be that. It can be a slippery slope. But any diet can be done poorly. So it's up to us to make sure that we are doing something that fuels our body, that makes us feel good. And for me, making sure that I am getting enough protein and enough calories in, but still trying to stay within whatever points I get back for working out and my daily points is really gonna make me focus on those 0-point foods, which I think is great. It's making me more mindful of the foods I choose to put into my body, because I'm trying to get volume, but I'm trying to stay within points. So I think they can go together beautifully. So I am still absolutely gonna do Weight Watchers, even though I am shifting some of my intentions. I might not lose weight for like 4 to 6 weeks. I do have a habit of doing that. When I first start working out, my body kind of stabilizes. I don't know if it's muscle building, swelling, what's happening, but normally for 4 to 6 weeks, I don't really have a lot of results. And then all of a sudden I'll lose a bunch of inches or the weight. But that's laundry's done. That's okay, because my intention is to get strong and to have endurance and to feel great. I have so much energy with going to the gym. I feel great. The weight loss portion isn't as important as the body composition portion. So my number on the scale might not be dropping as quickly, but that doesn't mean I'm not losing body fat. So that's where taking your inches really comes into play, making sure you have those inches before you get started on a program, because the weight on the scale might stay the same for a whole month, but you could lose a whole inch on your waist, and you would have never known that, and you would have felt so discouraged if you hadn't taken your inches first. So before you start a workout program, and even if you're not doing a workout program, I still recommend doing your inches. Make sure you do your inches. It is a golden mine of statistics and opportunity to feel good about yourself. And we're just putting aside any reasons to feel bad about ourselves, because, negative thoughts, they don't really help with positive change. We need to have a positive outlook, a positive attitude. So be proud of yourself for what you can do and keep doing it. All right, I think our chickens are probably ready. I only ate 2 of the squash patties, so this came out to 4 points plus a point back for my dinner. It's a little dark here, but I wanted to show my okra. My husband eats the top. I have like a texture issue with it, so I don't. I just bite it off until I get to right here, and then I stop and I leave that on my plate. Air-fried okra. It's delicious. A friendly reminder to listen to those hunger cues. I was no longer hungry, so I stopped eating. I'm gonna split this between mine and my husband's bowls. So this is 1 point. We're each gonna have a pear chopped up. Gonna add cinnamon. Two tablespoons of this granola. This is 2 points for the granola. And I'm gonna add 6 grams of honey. I just weigh that out. I make sure it says 0, and then I'll stop when it says 6 grams. Actually, I'll stop when it says 4. Oh, see? Now I gotta add it to 9. Actually, that'll be Cody's. Haha. Sucker. All right, I get the Red Bull. This is gonna finish out my what I eat in a day. This is a 4-point snack. That brings me to 29 points for the day. I'll add it over here. So I get 23 points a day. I earned 4 back through water and vegetables, which means I only actually used 1 point of weeklies, even though I ate all day long. I'm really proud with how today went. I felt very satisfied, hunger-wise, taste-wise, and I'm excited to see what this journey has to offer. So I'll see you next time. I had to come back to tell you, this is a must try. This is so good. It's like a pear crumble. So good. I like the fact that it's only half the yogurt, because sometimes yogurt can get like tangy. And I don't have that because I have enough of the sweet pear to counterbalance the tang of the yogurt. A+, A++. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Eat this.